What if the food you thought was protecting your health was actually silently destroying it? For decades, eggs have been praised as the perfect protein, and for good reason. They're rich in nutrients, affordable, and found in nearly every household. But here's the cold, hard truth. After age 60, your body changes, and that healthy breakfast habit could be turning into a ticking time bomb. I've been practicing internal medicine for over 60 years. At 92 years old, I still treat patients every Tuesday at a retirement home in upstate New York. And let me be blunt, the biggest mistake I see over and over again in older adults is eggs. Not because eggs are bad, but because you're probably eating them wrong. And the older you get, the more dangerous that becomes. Let me take you inside a case that still haunts me. Liam Johnson, 85, from Chicago. Devoted father, lifelong hard worker, thought he was doing everything right. His routine? 2 soft-boiled eggs every morning. Seemed harmless, even smart. Until one day, he collapsed. Severe salmonella poisoning. At first we thought it was just unfortunate, but then the truth came out. He'd been eating soft-boiled and sometimes even expired eggs daily for 40 years. His aging immune system couldn't fight back like it used to. This isn't rare. Every week I see seniors who swear by their egg-heavy diets. But instead of thriving, they're fatigued, inflamed, and stuck on more medications than they can count. Why? Because eggs, when consumed the wrong way, can backfire. Badly. Take Emma Williams, 83, from Kansas. She'd been taking cholesterol meds for over 2 decades. Still, her numbers barely budged. She told me proudly, "I eat fried eggs every morning for the protein." She meant well, but every bite was silently sabotaging her recovery. Her cholesterol finally dropped by nearly 30%, only after she changed how she ate eggs, 6 months on. Later, she didn't just need fewer meds, she felt alive again. Her energy returned, her dependence on pills dropped. And all it took? One small but critical change. That's the power of precision. What I'm about to share with you isn't just another health tip. It's the kind of knowledge that can rewrite the rest of your life. Because the truth is, eggs can be a miracle food, or a metabolic landmine. And for seniors, that line is razor thin. So before you crack another shell, I urge you, watch until the end. Because if you've been eating eggs for years, thinking you're doing your body a favor, you could be walking straight into a trap. One simple change might spare you a lifetime of pills, exhaustion, and hidden inflammation. And if this video helps just one person take back their health, maybe even extend their life, it'll be worth it. Don't forget to subscribe and hit like. That one click might just be the start of someone's journey to a stronger, longer life. Because now, the 5 egg-eating mistakes that could be putting your health in danger start right here. First, tossing the yolk and eating only the egg whites. No fat, no cholesterol, just clean protein, right? Wrong, dead wrong, especially if you're over 60. If you've been eating egg whites alone on an empty stomach to stay healthy, you could be setting off a dangerous chain reaction in your body and not even know it. Here's what no one tells you. Egg whites contain a compound called avidin, and when you eat them without the yolk, avidin runs wild inside your digestive system. Its mission? To block biotin, also known as vitamin B7, an absolutely critical nutrient for brain function, nerve health, and energy. And when your body doesn't get enough biotin, the consequences creep in silently, then hit hard. It can start with a little fatigue or tingling in your fingers, but soon it snowballs, numbness in your limbs, shaky muscles, brain fog, even mood crashes and depression. And it only gets worse from there. Mrs. Olivia Carter, 74, from Ohio, found out the hard way. She thought she was doing the right thing by avoiding the yolks, but after months of only eating egg whites for breakfast, on an empty stomach, She developed such severe numbness in her hands and feet she could barely walk. Her nerves were starving, and her body was screaming for help. Why was it so extreme? Because eating egg whites on an empty stomach magnifies the damage. When your stomach is empty, acid levels spike, and that supercharges avidin, giving it even more power to block biotin. But that's not the only danger in ditching the yolk. What you're throwing away isn't just cholesterol, you're tossing out one of the most nutrient-packed foods on Earth. Egg yolks are rich in lecithin, omega-3s, lutein, and zeaxanthin, compounds your aging body desperately needs. Lecithin protects your brain, lutein and zeaxanthin shield your eyes from macular degeneration, and omega-3s fight the very inflammation that drives aging. Skip the yolk, you miss all of that. So here's how to do it right. Always eat the yolk and white together. Never on an empty stomach. Have a slice of whole grain toast or a small salad first to buffer digestion. Aim for 1 whole egg per day or 5 to 7 per week, safe for most older adults. If you're on cholesterol medication or have nervous system issues like dementia or Parkinson's, consult your doctor first. These groups are more vulnerable to biotin loss and can suffer faster symptom progression when it's ignored. People on antibiotics or exposed to environmental toxins, you're at even higher risk. This isn't just about breakfast, it's about your brain, your balance, your independence. So, how have you been eating your eggs until now? Have you unknowingly fallen into the egg white trap? Let me know in the comments. Second, the raw egg habit. Downing raw eggs with a splash of vodka or spooning up soft-boiled yolks for breakfast. For seniors, this habit can lead to a medical nightmare. Here's why. Raw eggs are one of the top carriers of salmonella, a vicious bacteria that can do far more than upset your stomach. In young people, it might just cause nausea or cramps, but in older adults, it can trigger something far more sinister: severe dehydration, uncontrollable fever, and in worst cases, deadly sepsis. Sepsis isn't just a scare word, it's a full-body infection that can shut down organs and end lives. And according to data from the CDC, seniors over 65 have the highest death rate from salmonella infections. Just ask Mr. Ethan Brooks, 85, who landed in the ICU after a lifetime of mixing raw eggs and vodka. He beat the infection, but the aftermath was brutal. Months of antibiotics, gut damage, malnutrition, and chronic diarrhea from a destroyed microbiome. The protein in raw egg whites contains a compound called avidin, which remains fully active until cooked. This sneaky molecule latches onto vitamin B7, biotin, and blocks your body from absorbing it. Biotin deficiency isn't just about thinning hair or brittle nails. In the elderly, it can accelerate nerve damage, fatigue, memory loss, and even depression. To make matters worse, raw egg proteins can bind to the beneficial bacteria in your gut, throwing off your entire microbiome. And we now know that gut health isn't just about digestion. It's tightly connected to Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and mental health issues in older adults. To destroy salmonella and deactivate avidin, eggs need to be cooked to at least 165 to 774 degrees. Don't settle for a runny yolk. If you're boiling eggs, give them 9 to 12 full minutes until the centers are completely solid. Keep watching, because the next revelation might just flip everything you thought you knew on its head. Third, consuming with medication. For countless seniors, taking daily medication is a routine, something done with care and discipline, often alongside a balanced breakfast. Few people realize how dangerous it can be to eat eggs together with certain drugs, and the consequences, sometimes fatal. Let's talk about blood thinners, particularly warfarin. This medication is prescribed to prevent life-threatening blood clots. But here's the catch. Its effect can swing wildly based on how much vitamin K you consume. Egg yolks are packed with vitamin K. Suddenly increasing or decreasing your egg intake can throw your medication into chaos. Eat too many, and your blood may clot too easily. Eat too few after being consistent, and you might bleed uncontrollably. It's a delicate balance, and few people ever hear about it until it's too late. Just ask 85-year-old Will Smith. One morning, thinking he was being extra healthy, he added a couple more eggs to his usual breakfast. That same afternoon, he was rushed to the hospital with a brain hemorrhage. The warfarin he relied on had stopped doing its job, and no one suspected the eggs. But blood thinners aren't the only concern. Certain antibiotics, like tetracycline and quinolones, lose their effectiveness when taken with eggs. That's because the calcium, magnesium, and iron in eggs bind to these drugs and block their absorption. You take the pill thinking you're killing the infection, but it's already been neutralized in your stomach, never making it to your bloodstream. Then there's iron. Many seniors suffer from anemia and rely on iron supplements, but if you're pairing that pill with a plate of eggs, you might be canceling out its benefits entirely. Egg whites contain a protein that binds with iron and forms a compound your body can't absorb, and that means the iron never reaches your bloodstream, leaving you exhausted, pale, and wund. Erring while you're not getting better. Ava Mitchell, 75, experienced exactly that. She followed her doctor's orders, took her iron pills every day, and yet her anemia persisted. No one had told her that her morning eggs were standing in the way of her recovery. The real danger lies in how common these interactions are and how little they're talked about. People think they're doing everything right, but without knowing when and how to separate their food from their medications, they unknowingly sabotage their progress day after day. If this alarmed you, good. Because what's coming next is even more shocking. And if you've made this mistake before, chances are the next one is happening on your plate right now. Fourth, consuming between 600 a.m. and 800 a.m. This common habit could be quietly wrecking your health. Here's why. Between 6 o'clock and 8 o'clock in the morning, your body releases its highest levels of cortisol, a hormone that naturally spikes to wake you up. But cortisol also tells your liver to produce more cholesterol. So when you eat eggs during this hormonal surge, especially yolks rich in cholesterol, you risk compounding that effect. The result? Cholesterol levels can spike dangerously. This is especially risky for seniors. As we age, our ability to regulate cholesterol weakens. That means what seemed harmless in your 40s could turn into a heart threat in your 70s. Mr. Lucas Bennett, 80, learned this the hard way. He collapsed from a heart attack after years of eating fried eggs at 6 a.m. Tests showed his cholesterol had doubled, and eggs were a major contributor. There's another issue too: digestion. Early in the morning, your gut is still waking up. Heavy proteins like eggs can overload it, leading to indigestion, bloating, and heartburn. So when should you eat eggs? Between 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. That's when your body handles cholesterol more efficiently and digestion is at full strength. Pairing eggs with vegetables like spinach or broccoli boosts benefits even more, as fiber helps reduce cholesterol absorption and protect your arteries. But avoid eggs late at night. Protein digestion can interfere with sleep and rob your body of the energy it needs to recover. If you're looking for a safer morning protein, try Greek yogurt or tofu, easier to digest, gentler on the gut, and less likely to trigger a cholesterol surge. Still eating eggs at sunrise? It might be time to shift your routine before your body pays the price. Fifth, high-temperature oil-cooking fried eggs. What most people don't realize is that high-temperature frying completely changes the nature of eggs. Egg proteins are extremely sensitive to heat. When exposed to oil that's smoking hot, above 212 degrees, they begin to break down, denature, and harden. Once that happens, your digestive enzymes struggle to process them. What was once a source of easy-to-absorb protein becomes a stomach burden, especially for older adults whose digestive fire isn't as strong as it used to be. And that's just the beginning. When oil is heated past its smoke point, it doesn't just get smoky, it turns toxic. Compounds like acrolein and aldehydes are released. These aren't just bad news for your gut, They can inflame the stomach lining, damage cells, and contribute to long-term oxidative stress. And while your eyes may be enjoying the golden glow of a perfectly fried egg, your brain is quietly suffering a loss, because choline, the vital brain nutrient found in yolks, gets destroyed under extreme heat. Choline is critical for memory and cognitive function. For older adults, every bit matters. Mr. Langsmith, 82. Fried eggs had been his lifelong favorite, but as the years passed, they began to betray him. The bloating, heartburn, and heaviness after breakfast became unbearable. Once he made the switch to boiled eggs, not only did his digestion improve, he was finally absorbing protein again without pain. So what's the safest way to cook eggs? Start with cold water, add your eggs, and let them gently come to a boil over low heat for 10 minutes. This method protects the protein structure and preserves nutrients like choline, selenium, and vitamin D. Avoid cranking up the flame or continuing to boil vigorously. This only hardens the egg and reduces digestibility. Better yet, try steamed or poached eggs, cooked low and slow, without oil, and far gentler on stomach. One method to absolutely avoid? The microwave. Its rapid, uneven heating destroys proteins and creates digestion nightmares, not to mention the very real risk of an egg exploding in your face. And here's a tip that most overlook. Add healing herbs and spices like turmeric, black pepper, or parsley. Not only do they add flavor, but they also reduce inflammation, support digestion, and enhance the egg's nutritional profile, especially beneficial for older adults managing joint pain, memory issues, or heart concerns. If fried eggs have been your comfort food for decades, it may be time to rethink that habit. Your gut, your brain, and your future self will thank you. Let's recap everything, because while eggs can be one of the most powerful foods for longevity, they can also work against you if eaten the wrong way, especially in your later years. First, never eat only the whites on an empty stomach. Without the yolk, the protein blocks your biotin absorption, which can affect nerves, energy, and memory. Second, raw or undercooked eggs are a breeding ground for salmonella, and the elderly are the most vulnerable. Always cook your eggs thoroughly. Third, avoid eating eggs around the same time as medications. From blood thinners to antibiotics to iron pills, eggs can interfere with drug absorption and even trigger serious complications. Fourth, skip the early morning egg routine. Cortisol levels are highest between 6 and 8 a.m., promoting cholesterol spikes when combined with egg yolks. Aim for mid-afternoon instead, between 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock p.m., when your body can handle it better. And finally, leave high heat frying behind. Stick to boiling, steaming, or poaching to protect your gut and preserve vital nutrients like choline, which guards your brain. Get these 5 things right, and eggs become a powerful ally, fueling your body with essential protein, B vitamins, vitamin D, selenium, and the kind of nourishment your aging body actually needs. But get them wrong, and they could slowly chip away at the very health you're trying to protect. That's not just science, it's personal. I'm 92 years old, and yes, I'm still practicing medicine, still seeing patients, still showing up every week. Why? Because I've followed these principles, not once in a while, but day by day, year after year, and eggs, when eaten the right way, have been a silent powerhouse behind my strength. But I get it. Habits are hard to change, especially when they're wrapped in decades of routine. That's why I'm not asking you to overhaul your diet overnight. I'm asking you to start with one simple step, just one. Because one good decision, done consistently, is how real transformation begins. So what will it be? Maybe tomorrow, skip the frying pan. Instead, boil a couple of eggs, add some steamed greens, and give your body something it can actually use. Your cells, your brain, your muscles, they'll know the difference. And if you've made it this far, I know something else. You care about your health. You want to stay strong. You want to stay independent. So hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and most importantly, don't just listen. Act. Make one small, smart choice today, and repeat it tomorrow, and the next day, because the road to a strong, sharp 100-year life, it's built one bite at a time. I'm rooting for you.